Do I sound paranoid and delusional? Probably.
Just missing the tinfoil hat at this point.
The good news and bad news is it's my birthday tomorrow. The bad news, it means I'm older and I forgot more stuff, so I don't have my headphones. So I'm close to the machine. I've gotten all the ambient noise I can out of here. That's the best I can do.
E for effort.
But the D for actual products. So, what's
Advanced
going on?
happy birthday, I guess.
So I'm from a very large family, so nobody cared. You got your own, like my mom would make me a cake. That was it. No one, trust me, no big deal. What are we talking about today, young man?
My entire week has just been hurry up and wait, because all I've been is just talking to people and nothing has moved thus far. So I'm like, all right, I guess this is how a regular job feels.
It'll all happen on Friday at 3 when you don't want to be doing anything. Well, I mean, over here, we have what is looking like the fall of this guy named Ryan Walters, who's in charge of our public schools here. And he just the feds came in and did an audit. And so he knew this was coming, which explains all the crazy behavior the past couple of weeks. But evidently, a bunch of money's missing, a bunch of stuff hadn't been done. 35, I think, is what it was, out of 50 items were like 1 star. You and I would be out of business if we had 35 1-star reviews. But of course, he's the keynote speaker at some conservative conference tomorrow.
Oh,
But here's the thing. How come you and I don't have jobs where we get paid to fail?
I know, it's kind of weird, right? It's only like these kind of elected positions somewhere in government or appointments that aren't even elected correctly, where you can do all kinds of corrupt shit and just stay in the job for the entire duration of the term.
And there's a thing called legislative immunity. People don't really get to do anything about it. I mean, it is this year's been an eye-opener down here. And we used to be known as a really corrupt state. And then evidently half of our county commissioners, went to jail. And it seems like we're swimming back towards that shore. I mean, it's goofy, ugly. And this guy was our governor's. The governor met him at like a tennis match, and he was a tennis coach. And that's how he became in charge of the job was Secretary of Education. I wish I was kidding.
So the governor just thought this guy can teach tennis, so hell yeah, he knows all about education. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and he was a school teacher, like low-level history teacher.
That's like me screaming at a soccer game and expecting to get the manager job for a club.
Right. Well, it did happen on one show. No. It's an interesting thing. So what I feel like we're in the middle of, so you're familiar with Project 2025 in America, and this is if Donald Trump were to be elected, this is what the people around him want to input. Since he really doesn't read or do his homework, which is true. It's not me saying it as an opinion. He's not an avid reader. They just push this stuff in all around him, but I think it's all been blown up. So I don't know what's possible for conservatives at this point.
Considering their entire plan was exposed with this stupid document and the tutorials they made.
It's secret videos. Yeah, because that always works out when people are secretly taping you. The interesting thing is, so it's from a deal called the Heritage Foundation. And the reason I'm tying all this together is people need to see what the bigger picture is. So Heritage Foundation is this big thing up here that puts through policy, super conservative right-wing policy. Now, in this place called the Heritage Foundation, the vice president's name is Voigt, Vought. Voigt. I don't know which way is proper. And
what?
That is,
I would vote on Vought for the sole reason it sounds more evil and sinister and one of those fucking James Bond villain type companies.
You're gonna tell here in a second. So this lady named Vought gets promoted to vice president of the Heritage Foundation. She has a company that she got an LLC for 3 days before she got a contract from our state superintendent to do all of his PR.
Nice. Why didn't we ever get opportunities like this in life, Sean?
Right. And he's already given her, I believe, $120,000. And if I'm wrong, it's $90,000. And the governor came out, you got to stop giving money to these people. And he's like, yeah, F you, and gave her another 60 grand. But she's also second in charge of the place to put out Project 2025. I mean, but here's what I want everybody to learn. She's the one that Ryan Walters pays to get her on Fox TV, Newsmax, and all these other things. When you see people like him on there, they're not news stories. They have paid to be there. Like an agent. You know, like you and I would hire an agent off a script. We'd hire an agent to see if we can get an audition or something along those lines. He gets onto conservative news channels by paying money, and the people that watch have no idea the business that's behind all of it. And she's the Project 2025 person. Do I sound paranoid and delusional? Probably.
Just missing the tinfoil hat at this point, but you're accurate.
Here in Oklahoma, we are ground floor for all this stuff. And I work with a group and am a member of it, of Defense of Democracy. And I telling Kit Fairchild yesterday, I'm like, without Defense of Democracy doing stuff with me, I don't think we would have ever exposed this guy. Like, he would have just rolled through. The government is worried about his spending. Here's the amount, $2.3 billion. Oh,
wow.
And you and I did not even get a crumb. Not even
This is, oh God, this is like one of those unscripted, like really badly written TV shows about corruption in politics.
Really,
I'm like, what the hell is going on, eh?
So I sent you an article earlier, and that is the federal study, if you want to throw it into the notes of the show so people can look. It is hard to believe anybody is this incompetent, but all he's worried about doing. So you do know most politicians are just failed wannabe actors or theater kids, and aren't any good. So the next best thing is outrage politics. At least you're in front of the camera, even though you don't have any presence and you're not really good at it. You have a fish moving in your background. So we've got yet another crop of these wannabe actors, and so I don't know if this stops. Even if we get rid of this guy, they've got 8 or 10 people in line. I'll go do it, sir. I'll go do this. You know, just waiting to do it. It's crazy.
The weird part is that even the shows that people get booked on, news shows, there should be the same type of disclosure, right? That newspapers are supposed to put, where they're like sponsored by so-and-so or paid for by so-and-so, rather than just put it on like in between a news segment and pretend that it's part of the news. That's just weird and wrong.
You and I know it's entertainment. And if they go to court, they'll say it's entertainment. Yeah. But outside of that, it is surely presented as news. Isn't that crazy? So it's just a great lesson for people to learn about. And I don't know, and I mean this, and I'm not justifying MSNBC or CNN or anybody else. I don't know if it works that way on those networks. I truthfully don't know. So I'm not standing up for anybody here. But local news here, you don't pay to get on there. Like, you have to do something. Like, there has to be a story.
Yeah.
So I got that going.
Is that why, Sean, you're on the news all the time annoying me?
Well, here's the thing. You used to do this kind of work. If you have a person that you know can give you a brilliant 10-second soundbite.
Yeah, it's worth the entire like the ad revenues from that itself will pay for the entire show.
Exactly. So that's all I've got going here. So we got Oklahoma State Board of Education meeting tomorrow. So I don't know if we're camping out tonight, but I'll go put my stuff out just so I can.
Are they still making it like miserable for you guys to go in there and do anything?
It is. And that's their whole point. And he may not even be there tomorrow because he has his keynote speech. But here's my take on this. So we've been at this for 2 years, and I'm this train all the way to the station. I'm not letting all these other Republican politicians jump on now and act like they did anything. They did this. And let this guy run. It literally is on them. And then we got that other guy, this Todd Hyatt guy, that's a corporation commissioner. Have we talked about this?
Oh, we did talk about it. The guy who got the land for the jail,
who grabbed the guy's junk at a jail.
Oh yeah, we did talk about it in last week.
Yeah, and it's company that goes, he still has a job. He still has a job, and he grabbed a grown man's junk in Minnesota at a meeting, and the guy represented a company that goes in front of the Corporation Commission.
Oh God, this is.
I'm not done yet. So,
oh, okay. There's more to this shit show.
Commissioner Miles Davidson that they did the petition for turned in 5,700 signatures. The guy declared 4,100, so he's not going to have a grand jury because a guy he knows and is a friend of his checked this stuff to find out who was legal and who was not. No. I can't make this up.
Nice.
So when you are pitching our TV show, these are the 3 stories you need to go, no, this is real. Like, we do a version of docudrama. It can be literally a documentary and a movie.
This is like the laziest writing I've ever done, where 90% of it I don't even have to write or figure out how it is.
It just writes itself down here. I know, man. It is, and I don't think it's necessarily worrying. It's disturbing. You know, because I'm not on the what I get concerned for is I'm a single mom with 2 kids, and that's who these guys are screwing over. They're not screwing over somebody like me. I just go around them. I'm not letting some putz in government control me. Now, would they eventually? So, will I get surprise health department inspections and all that stuff out of stuff? Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the liquor guys are going to show up. The health inspector is going to show up and do all that kind of ruckus.
I know. So that's all I've got going on here, other than I'm old. I just want to point that out. Old, and life is just kind of cruising along. It's kind of strange. Yeah. Hey, you want to? Since we've covered such great things, let's cover something positive. Would you like to do that?
Sure.
We could put it at the beginning of the show.
Just so that we can lure them into a false sense of security and happiness and then slam them with all the bad news.
Bill O'Reilly show. So I'm turning 60, and so I haven't done any medical stuff since like pre-COVID, because you couldn't get into doctors, and now I can get stuff done. So I get blood work back. Are you ready for this? And for those of you who don't know, you only see me from here up. I'm not fat. I'm not obese. I'm in shape for 60. And I came back as pre-diabetic, which is kind of a way to just make you pay attention to the fact that you eat too much sugar, too much pasta, too much rice, all of the things that I actually like to eat. Hold on. Pizza, pasta, and potatoes. The 3 P. We can make a commercial out of this shit, dude.
I know.
We really can. The 3, all you got to do is stay away from the 3 Ps, pizza, pasta, and potatoes. So I have accidentally lost 16 pounds in 3 weeks.
Jesus, man. How the hell do you lose 16 pounds and not notice?
Pizza, pasta, and potatoes.
Are you just like punching new holes in your belt and carrying on pretending you're not losing weight?
I'm 3 over. So I was here and then literally 3 count over. So I am wearing pants I probably could have worn freshman year in high school.
Oh, God, Sean.
And there's nothing wrong. It's just, so my daughter is a nutritionist, for those of you who don't know, and works at a cancer hospital. So, I called her and I'm like, what do I need to do? And she gave me a really simple plan. And when that went in my brain, it became slightly more complicated. And I said, I've got to stop doing sugar, white flour, and all this other stuff. All she said was, no more than 20% of your plate should be carbohydrates. That's what she actually said. What I heard was, you're going to be shooting needles into your stomach the rest of your life if you don't fix this. So, for all of the people getting on Ozempic, really, pizza, pasta, potatoes.
Yeah, I like that the human condition is that where instead of correcting your diet, you rather just put something else in your body.
It makes no sense. I know it. So yeah, that's my story of the week, because I have people go, hey man, you're losing weight, and and they all feel bad for me, and they're like, I know you must be feeling bad. I'm like, it has nothing to do with that. Literally, I'm not diabetic. They just were giving me a warning. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is I do listen to people's advice when they give it to me. I don't necessarily compute it well once it gets in here, but I do listen.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that all of us? Where you want to hear something and then you're like, screw it, I'll do it tomorrow.
Well, I've got a friend of mine. So the drug Aleve, that's a painkiller here in America, causes kidney damage if you take too much of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be a runner, athlete, and all this shit stuff. And I used to take one before a long run, or probably two, and then two when I got back, just to keep the swelling down on the knees and ankles and everything. And I end up with kidney disease. And the doctor goes, well, here's all the stuff you need to do. And the nephrologist says, kidney doctor, says, hey, are you taking any painkillers, allergy meds? I mean, something has to be doing this. And he goes, stop taking all of that. And so I did for 2 months, and it went away. Another guy diagnosed with the same thing is doing dialysis twice a week.
Oh, Jesus. Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't change his diet. And he's a friend of mine.
Mm.
And you go, and that's okay with you. Holy jeez.
Is it one of those people who's like, this is America and I'm not going to change my diet?
I'm going to eat as if I got free healthcare. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat as well.
That dialysis thing, there, like a couple of my friends' parents are on dialysis now. And it's so weird. It's like a super efficient money-making operation for these hospitals.
Yeah. And so like down the street, they built a dialysis lab with like 20 seats. So you go in the back door like Walmart, they get you set in, they move you forward, you get in your chair, they clean your blood, send you out the front door. Yeah. I don't know what other option is, but people do eat and behave as if we have free healthcare here, and we do not. It's very, very expensive. But I mean, yours is for pay, right? I mean, do you have insurance?
We do have insurance, but
so do you personally have insurance with your broken face?
I did. The company, right? Because I was an H1B employee, they had to hold insurance for me.
Oh, cool.
That's
nice.
One of the job requirements of that. I mean, one of the requirements in those visas and stuff like that, too.
So since we're probably wrapping this thing up pretty soon, explain to people what the visa is and why those were the people we wanted to bring to America, because they made money and we got taxes. Will you explain it?
Yeah, I was on something called the H1B Visa, which was basically, it's given to skilled laborers that America has a shortage of. So it literally, it's not like a free visa or anything. You pay a lot of filing fees. There are labor requirements that your company has to meet. Only then the government will give you the first letter, which is the basis to apply for the second one, which is for the particular employee. And these jobs have to be like in the six-figure range, because otherwise companies were sidestepping it in the past and trying to get people at lower wages, because people just wanted to come there and they were able to trick people into showing up and being like, all right, here's 30 grand, run around and do this for me. Whereas now there are more stringent requirements, and there are only like, it's not a lot of visas that are issued per year. And they also do have a fucking shitty lottery system, Sean, because there are so many applications.
And that wouldn't be easily rigged by computer people, which is a specialty that we're actually hiring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nobody would that favor. No.
Yeah, but that is the job. That is the visa category that you're using right now to cover
American income tax. You didn't take the money back home to India or England and give the money to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we paid taxes. The firm paid separate taxes on my employment as well, right?
I know, solid program. And this is for stuff that Americans don't do, or there aren't.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people that want to be rappers, very few people that want to be engineers.
Just this morning, I was talking to some guy and he was like, oh, wow, your job sounds fun. And I was like, dude, I don't wish this on my worst enemy. You have no idea what it actually feels like.
Mine is really fun till it's a 16-hour day.
Mm-hmm.
And And as at my age, 16 hours is a very long time. That's like 3 naps and a day's worth of work. And if you just got to work it straight through, it's rough. All right, man, take us out here. I got bread. I got to get out of the oven.
One last thing. Did you see that clip of Jerry Seinfeld where he was talking about how till the 70s, it was only how cool your job was? That's all people cared about, and not about how much money you made. Eh? And when the hell did that all change?
So I want to explain that a little bit. So in the 70s, the peak of America, the experiment was probably 73 to 76. You could have just a shitty labor job and buy a house and a car.
Mm-hmm.
Like a laborer could buy a house and a car. And that has since dropped. So the amount of money I made in the late 70s, 1979, I could have bought a house and a car. Literally me, like 18 years old. Those jobs don't pay that amount of money now. They're like $3 an hour less. And it's been 40 years. That was the peak of the American experiment. Mm-hmm. That's why it didn't matter, because everyone made money.
Mm-hmm.
So the politicians realized, with a little bit of experimentation and implementation of policy, in the short term, they would lose money moving jobs to China, India, and Mexico, depending on what the job was. Mexico does a lot of our farming because they're allowed to use chemicals that are illegal here.
Mm-hmm.
China, basically slave wages. You guys, nothing personal. It's nothing against the country, but slave wages by comparison with what Americans would have to pay.
Yeah.
What we found during COVID is we need to have our own manufacturing.
Yeah.
We were just England. We did the same stuff. England's our mother. So we went the mother. America bankrupted England in World War II and World War I.
Mm-hmm.
We took everything they had, and all of us Irish thoroughly enjoyed taking every penny of it from them and leaving them destitute because they didn't make their own stuff. They were arrogant. They didn't want to work beneath them, and so they'd send it over to India. After they stole all your guys' money, then they're like, hey, and we're going to make it work for shit now too. Same thing over here, but then we eventually developed it and took them over, for lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm good with it.